Looking back from 2050, it is almost difficult to comprehend the digital Wild West that defined the early decades of the 21st century, when algorithms operated with immense autonomy and minimal ethical oversight. Unregulated systems were making critical decisions across finance, healthcare, insurance, and even justice, often relying on opaque logic structures that few people truly understood or could meaningfully challenge. Public trust in artificial intelligence eroded rapidly as high-profile failures, biased predictions, and controversial automated rulings revealed the dangerous consequences of unchecked algorithmic power. Flash market crashes, discriminatory lending outcomes, and manipulative content amplification created a growing perception that digital systems were shaping society without accountability or transparency. Citizens began demanding answers, questioning who was responsible when an algorithm denied opportunity, distorted truth, or inflicted measurable harm on individuals and communities. This vacuum of ethical governance threatened not only public confidence but also the sustainability of technological progress itself, pushing global cities to reconsider their regulatory approach. Among those cities, London stood at a decisive crossroads, uniquely positioned as both a global financial powerhouse and a rapidly expanding center of technological innovation. With its historic reputation for regulatory excellence in banking and commerce, London understood that trust was not optional, but the essential currency of the digital age. Without a credible framework for ethical artificial intelligence, the city risked undermining its own stability, competitiveness, and international standing in the emerging AI economy. Recognizing both danger and opportunity, civic leaders began envisioning a bold institutional solution that would place ethical oversight at the core of algorithmic deployment. Thus, in the late 2020s, the City of London Algorithmic Ethics Board, known as CAEB, was formally conceived as a pioneering model of proactive governance. CAEB was not designed as a reactive regulator, but as a forward-thinking institution embedding ethical principles directly into the life cycle of algorithm development. Its formation brought together leading ethicists, data scientists, legal scholars, economists, and civil society representatives into a unified collaborative structure. This multidisciplinary composition ensured that decisions reflected both deep philosophical reasoning and rigorous technical understanding of complex AI architectures. An independent oversight committee was built into its governance model, safeguarding impartiality and preventing dominance by any single commercial interest. At the heart of CAEB's operational framework stood the Trust Audit Protocol, widely known as TAP, a comprehensive system for ethical algorithm assessment. TAP introduced measurable criteria for fairness, explainability, robustness, accountability, and resistance to adversarial manipulation. Rather than abstract guidelines, TAP transformed ethical aspirations into quantifiable metrics and auditable compliance standards. Each audit began with a meticulous review of design specifications, data provenance, and training methodologies underlying the AI system. Specialized auditors conducted stress simulations and adversarial testing to expose potential vulnerabilities and hidden bias amplification loops. Importantly, the audit process also examined organizational culture, assessing whether ethical reflection was embedded throughout development cycles. In 2032, CAEB intervened in a high-frequency trading platform whose subtle algorithmic biases were widening systemic inequality within markets. Through the Trust Audit Protocol, feedback loops favoring dominant participants were identified and strategically recalibrated. The corrective measures improved
Reviewing the
fairness,
algorithm design,
while
the flowchart appears
simultaneously
consistent.
increasing
Now,
long-term
this alone just
stability
shown on
and
range
investor
range.
confidence.
Reduces
This
low,
landmark
no
case
anomalies,
demonstrated that
concluding the
ethical
review.
design was not a constraint, but a catalyst for more resilient and sustainable innovation. Nevertheless, CAEB faced resistance from institutions hesitant to expose proprietary systems to external ethical scrutiny. Debates intensified regarding jurisdictional limits and the
Have you implemented
extraterritorial
safeguards for data
implications
privacy?
of
Yes,
ethical
we use
audit
end-to-end encryption
requirements.
and strict
Critics
access
warned that
controls.
the
And how do you address
strict
potential
governance
bias?
could
We conduct
deter
regular audits on
investment
diverse
and
datasets.
push technological
Thank you.
experimentation to less regulated regions. Yet evidence increasingly showed that a reputation for ethical AI attracted long-term capital
The
and
TAP network is
high-caliber
spreading
talent.
rapidly from London.
Gradually,
Incredible. New York
ethical
and Paris are already
certification
online.
evolved
Tokyo,
into a
Sydney, and
competitive
Dubai are next.
advantage
A truly
rather
global
than
reach
a
for
bureaucratic
CEB.
burden.
Welcome to the AI Ethics Global
Scope
Summit.
soon
We must
expanded
prioritize
beyond
fairness in all
finance
algorithms.
into
Absolutely.
urban
How do
planning,
we handle global
public
biases?
Our
health,
framework includes adaptive
transportation,
learning to
and
mitigate
smart
those biases.
infrastructure.
That's promising.
It provided guidance on equitable diagnostic systems, ensuring healthcare algorithms performed fairly across demographic groups. Autonomous
This
transit
AI
systems
explains its
were
choices
audited
clearly.
for
A low
safety
risk score?
integrity
Great.
and
The AI confirms
non-discriminatory
diabetes with
routing
a high
logic.
fairness score
Smart
and
city
suggests metformin.
infrastructures
In London,
were
smart
redesigned
systems
to
ease traffic
prioritize
flow.
privacy
Team, our
preservation
ethical
and
AI
citizen
mantra is driving
consent.
real
The
innovation.
Trust Audit
Absolutely. Look
Protocol
at these metrics. The
continuously
engagement's up
evolved,
40%.
And the diversity
integrating
scores are
modules for
perfect. This
synthetic
is the
data
future.
ethics
Let's expand on
and
this.
emerging quantum computation risks. London's financial sector ultimately embraced CAEB certification as a hallmark of reliability and institutional
Our
maturity.
new algorithms actively scan media
Investors
for synthetic
gravitated
patterns.
toward
And they adapt
firms
in real time,
whose
flagging manipulated
algorithms
content.
were
This one is clearly
transparently
synthetic.
audited
See the detection.
and
Precisely, and it's
ethically
adapting to new
validated.
patterns now.
Public perception shifted as algorithms became understood not as opaque rulers but as accountable human-designed tools. International organizations studied CAEB's framework when drafting global AI governance principles. London became the crucible where ethical AI moved from aspiration to
This shows how
institutional
AI
reality.
bias can affect
Human
decisions
oversight
unfairly.
remains
So
central,
transparency is crucial for
with
trust.
mandatory
Exactly. Let's look at a case
intervention
study.
checkpoints
This is so
embedded
interactive.
throughout
Yes, it's great for
automated
learning.
processes. Accountability always rested with identifiable decision makers rather than autonomous computational abstractions. Strict data privacy frameworks ensured
The ethical AI
anonymization,
metrics are looking solid.
encryption,
Yes,
and
the diversity index is
consent-based
up.
governance
Great
of
work.
personal
How's the bias
information.
mitigation holding up?
It's at
Discriminatory
95%
lending
with
models
sustainable
and
data
biased
practices.
recruitment systems
How does this align
were
with current industry
systematically
standards? We
dismantled
align with
through
ISO guidelines
enforcement
ensuring global
actions.
relevance. This
By
model streamlines
2050,
knowledge transfer between GIMI and
CAEB
business.
and
Somaliland
TAP
will grade
formed the
benefit our
foundational
students.
pillars of a secure
Initiate
and
ethical
equitable
compliance check on
digital
the assisted
economy.
module.
Their
Compliance
legacy
verified.
extended
Safety
beyond
protocols are stable.
corrected
Good. Now,
algorithms
calibrate the sensor's
into a
urban
cultural
response matrix.
transformation of technological responsibility.
Standing here overlooking
Developers
this thriving
gained
London, I am
clarity
reminded
and
of the
confidence,
stability and prosperity we have
knowing
built through
ethical
ethical
pathways
governance.
were
This
structured
skyline is
rather
a
than
testament to our
ambiguous.
commitment to
This
a prosperous
clarity
future.
unlocked breakthroughs in personalized medicine, adaptive education, and climate modeling systems. Regulation, when intelligently designed, proved capable of
AI
accelerating
optimized London's green
rather
spaces
than
and
obstructing
traffic.
innovation.
Simulation
Public
complete. CO2
skepticism
reduced by
gradually
15%.
transformed into informed appreciation and collaborative trust. AI systems integrated seamlessly into daily life without evoking fear of unchecked autonomy. Smart infrastructure optimized urban efficiency without sacrificing personal freedoms. The dystopian anxieties of earlier decades gave way to a balanced partnership between humans and machines. Even so, emerging paradigms such as quantum AI and neural interfaces continue presenting new ethical dilemmas. CAEB remains vigilant, updating TAP to anticipate rather than merely react to innovation. Questions surrounding digital consciousness and augmented identity now sit firmly on its agenda. The commitment to foresight and principled governance remains unwavering decades after its inception. London, its experiment demonstrated that prosperity and ethical responsibility are not opposing forces. Fairness, transparency, and accountability became operational standards,